Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairy Muppet. Welcome back to the Hairy Smash. We're going to be jumping in here back to the winners bracket. So I think previously we saw Spear and Wally duking it out in the losers bracket. Spear, of course, is going to be moving on to face King Kong in the next stage of the losers bracket, but we're going to be jumping into the winners bracket right now, and this is actually the winners bracket final. So let's introduce our players. Up the top right side of the map, it is Mr. Arthur. He is from South Korea, is not currently part of a team, just going it solo. And his opponent up the top left side of the map is a player who we've not seen too much in the tournament, simply because we do not have the replays. And yes, but he is quite impressive. He is Mr. iaguz, 24 years of age, from Australia, plays for Root Gaming. And let's talk a little bit about what these players have done so far in the tournament. So Arthur, we've seen him a few times before. He's been pretty impressive. He's only dropped a single game so far to Frustration in the round of 16, and that was to some crazy DT sort of play. And yes, but he's beaten Frustration 2-1, he beat Wally 2-0, and then he beat Pig 2-0, which was a very, very impressive series of games. Arthur definitely showing against Pig that he is a man to be feared. And now he is in the final against iaguz, and iaguz has been equally impressive, although we haven't seen any of his games. He beat SWS 2-0 in the round of 16, and he beat Crimson 2-0 in the round of 8, and then he beat King Kong in the round of 4 in the quarterfinals, which, yes, I'm a little bit upset that I didn't get the replays for that, but then again, I only get the replays if people send them to me, and nobody sent me those replays, so I could not cast them, but that's definitely a game that I wanted to cast. So never fear though, King Kong versus Spear in the lower bracket. We will be seeing King Kong in action, and we are seeing iaguz in action right here. So neither of those two exceptional players are going to be missed out in this tournament. So let's have a quick look at what's going on. We got an expansion for Mr. iaguz. He's pumped out 3 fast barracks. No tech labs, no real gas sort of buildings on the way. Looks like he's going for a bit of a late gas actually. And yeah, just early minerals, early barracks, and just going nuts at the moment. I think he's only at, I'm not sure what this display actually says, but yeah, hasn't done too much. Arthur just put the Stalker at the front doing the Stalker dance just to see exactly what is going on. Looks like Arthur is going for a lot of fast pressure-ish sort of play, which we have seen him do quite a bit in previous games. He just goes for just that little bit extra, pushes a little bit harder, but he's pushing really, really hard in this game, not going for an expansion at all. He's basically going for a 4-gate with Blink. So a little bit of a delayed 4-gate to get Blink, but it is going to be very, very hard pressure. And iaguz has had a feeling that something crazy is going on, because he didn't leave his bunker down there. He's put all of his defenses up to the top side, so it looks like he's going to be holding on at the top side and basically leaving this expansion just to die. Look at this, he's actually got a rally point going down there, sends the workers out, sees 6 stalkers, there we go, that's it. And the command center just going to be running for it at the moment. He is putting a lot of damage into it, but I don't think he's going to kill it. I think he should be able to get some workers over there to repair that in time. Another couple of sentries coming out. Sentries are just going to be interesting to see what they can come up with. And here we go. It does go down into the fiery stage, but it's getting repaired quite easily over there. And now iaguz is just going to be sitting back, and he can still build workers off this, which is the, of course, the great thing about Terran. You can move it and you just keep on building workers. So his worker numbers are not going to be suffering too much, but his economy is going to be suffering in a couple of minutes, well, a couple of seconds actually, when he starts overmining this base. But not much you can do about it. I mean, he tries to move down there, the sentries are going to cut his force in half, and then the half at the front will kind of get screwed. So yeah, he's in a bit of a tough spot. So medevacs would help, but it's way too early in the game for medevacs. Going to be getting the factory out, maybe some widow mines. I don't see how Hellions are going to help him at all, unless I think maybe the factory is just for some starport tech. Get those medevacs out nice and fast. They can probably help. There we go. There's the starport, and I was after thinking about moving up, but starting to realize that iaguz has pulled back, is in a very, very nice defensive position, and is quite happy to stay up there for a little while longer, at least until he gets some starports out, gets some medevacs out, and waited out, and Arthur's just like, yeah, okay, that's fine. I'm not going to be able to kill him. Let's go ahead and get an expansion instead. Let's tech up. Let's do all this crazy stuff here. He's just going to make sure he keeps an eye on this thing, because if they do stim and run down, it's going to be split-second micro to cut them in half. If he doesn't cut them in half, his force is easily going to lose to all of these guys. I mean, a force field in the middle of the ramp is the only possible way that Arthur can win this battle. But yeah, I mean, sooner or later he's going to have to withdraw anyway. You can't stay there forever. Once the medevacs are out, it's just going to be horrible, because half his force is going to come down the ramp, the other half is just going to be dropped off here, maybe drop off there, and there'll be way too much for Arthur to deal with. So he puts down a force field and then gets the hell out of there. So he's decided he's left it long enough. He's just going to pull back on his own terms and leave iaguz to get that expansion out. He's definitely delayed him for some time. We can see 35 over 24. That income is going to suck. Mules are definitely helping here, but there's a lot of workers there that are just absolutely doing jack all. Here we go. The Stalker's actually hanging around, but there's quite a significant amount of Marines on the field. And how many Colossus do we have? We got one with a second on the way. And Arthur, I don't know if he's unhappy or happy to see that many Marines come out and chase his Stalkers. Yeah, he'd be unhappy because he's like, you know, iaguz has been pushing out pretty hard, but he'd be happy because, yeah, I got Colossus, man. This guy's going to get owned. And I do not think that iaguz is, I don't know. He can sort of start pushing out with the Viking numbers, I think, but his medevac count is not high. It's at 3. And 3 is okay, but, you know, more would be better. But he does need to think about getting Vikings pretty soon, because he is already facing 2 Colossus, and it's going to be extremely hard for him with only 3 Marauders to snipe those 2 Colossus. In fact, it's going to be, I mean, he can do it, but those Marines are really going to have to run into the firing line, and they're just going to be taking so much damage from the Colossus. I don't know, maybe he could just completely overwhelm this force. He's got so many Marines, and we'll just have to see. There we go, the Colossus coming in. The Stalker's blinking forward. That's an interesting move. It didn't work out too well for the Stalkers, but here we go. The move coming forward, trying to snipe that Colossus, but not enough damage. Those Marines going down so hard. However, they are going to chase here, and the Marauder numbers have been reinforced, and a Nexus overcharge is going to be causing iaguz to fall back. So yes, he was looking a little bit dodgy there, but he's been reinforcing heavily with Marauders off 3 barracks, and that has definitely helped him out quite a lot. So yes, Marauders definitely the magical unit against this force by Arthur, and we can start to see some Vikings coming out as well. And iaguz starting to look good again. He was definitely fell behind for some part of the game, but he's come back and he's looking fairly confident. And Arthur is just, yeah, I don't know. He's gone for Colossus, and iaguz is not showing any fear of the Colossus. He's just like, whatever, it's just another unit. I'll build Marauders. I will own it. I don't even need Vikings to own that. I'll just send out with my Marauders and own all of your stuff. And so Arthur is he's a little bit worried. He's getting Zealots, which is good. Definitely, when you are dealing with Marauders, sending Zealots out is an excellent idea. If you go out with Colossus Stalker without any Zealots against Marauders, you are going to get your pants ripped off you and smacked around your head quite a bit. It's just absolutely obscene how good Marauders are against Stalkers and even Colossus. So yes, you definitely need those Zealots as a counter to the Marauders. And it looks like he's starting to get them moving out here, thinking about something. He gets the watchtower, sees the guys coming in, and that is it's going to be falling back. iaguz going for a 3rd base as well. It's up, and he is mining on it, so he's looking very good. iaguz pushing out nice and hard. And Arthur, most of the games we've seen from Arthur, he generally likes to put a lot of pressure fairly quickly and just sort of bash people around the head as fast as he can. So I'm not sure. I don't know. I can't remember if we saw him much in the late game. We definitely know what a beast Arthur is in the early to mid game, but in the late game, I'm not sure. He's building Colossus, he's getting High Templar, so he's doing all the right things. but Arthur just seems to be going completely crazy. Look how many units he's building, sending workers over as well. He obviously wants to finish it off here, wants to get everything down, and Arthur, I don't know, man. Arthur is just not looking like he's got this at the moment. He's looking like he may indeed fold here. And the Stalkers, I mean, there's just too many Vikings. iaguz has pushed out with Vikings too hard, too fast. The Zealots are doing a pretty good job, I will say, though. Those Zealots, yeah, they're getting in there, man. Zealots are definitely a good job, and it looks like Arthur has actually turned this around. I thought he was in trouble, but then, of course, we forgot about how freaking awesome the Zealots are, and I didn't realize how many Arthur actually had. So those guys definitely did a good job, definitely did an insane job there. So iaguz, man, just in the end got taken out by the Zealots. He looked so huge, he looked so dominating, but in the end, Zealots close range, and you got to remember Arthur had 1-1, whereas iaguz only had 1 weapons. Those Zealots, man, can never be underestimated. So that's it. Arthur taken game 1, taken himself to a 1-0 lead, and iaguz has suffered the first game loss in this tournament so far. So it's the first game he's lost in this tournament, which I'm sure he's not going to be happy about. So let's move on and check out game 2. Stay tuned. Alrighty, we are back. It is game 2. Arthur taking the first game in a very, very nice fashion. Looked like iaguz were just going to annihilate everything, but in the end, Arthur, with a lot of Zealots, managed to just absolutely take out all of those ground forces. I mean, Zealots, close range against Triple M. The Triple M do tend to get owned quite a bit. They need to stim and run and all that sort of stuff, but iaguz was in a pretty bad position, because if he did the stim and run, he would have lost like all his Vikings and stuff like that, and the Colossus were owning everything. So he pushed in, but unfortunately he did lose that engagement. So unfortunate. But what have we got going on here? It does look like Arthur is going for a Nexus before Gateway approach here. Very, very fast macro. And it's not a bad map to do it, because the scouting is all over the place, and iaguz, unfortunately, is going to scout Arthur last. So he's not going to realize this fast Nexus is going up for quite some time, which is very unfortunate. But he himself is going for a fairly fast command center. I believe this was after 1 barracks. And so it was a barracks command center, and now he's going for 2 more barracks. So a pretty similar to play to the one that he did last game, which, you know, did work out pretty well. But we'll have to see. So Arthur definitely going for something different the last game, making use of that pocket expansion over here, and now getting the cyber core. He's got the double gas going on. He's going to be doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Yeah, that guy, man, 50 minerals. So whatever, yeah, 100 minerals for that mothership core. No wonder I never build one when I play ladder. Anything that's costs a crap load of gas, I'm just like, yeah, screw that. Way too much, way too much. So there we go, the 3 barracks are up. He's going to be pumping out a ton of Marines, I expect. Moving a few out here. Is worried about an Oracle play, and it's definitely, given where the Protoss player is, it definitely would not be a bad idea to build an Oracle, because look at that, you got a straight shot down over here, and yeah, it would just completely own everything on that pocket expansion. He's probably more worried about a mothership core at the moment, though, because yes, there is a mothership core out on the field, and it is going exactly there. So iaguz anticipating the nice little attack here, and hopefully no workers get lost. I don't expect any will. So there we go. Gets shot once, 1 single bullet hits it. Or maybe, I think that's actually when they shoot, it's like a 3 burst or something like that. Like a 3 bullet burst or something like that. It sounds like a 3 bullet burst, not like a single shot. So, yeah. Did get shot a few times, but only on a shield, so it is going to be fine. The Reaper comes out. Bit of a late Reaper for scouting, but I suppose it's not going to be working on workers at all. It's just going to be going around getting itself annoying. It's potentially more annoying for a Protoss than it is for a Zerg to do with a Reaper, because you don't have queens. So you got to actually get Stalkers around, but Stalkers are much better than any early Zerg unit at killing Reapers. So once you get a couple of Stalkers, you're usually fine. You just got to keep the Stalkers on top of the Reaper situation. Here he goes. Looks like he's going off to the side. There's a sentry waiting for it to come up. Sentry not that good at killing the Reaper. It should be able to get past quite easily and get a nice scout off. Sees all of the gateways being built. Sees the robotics bay being built. Sees those forges. Sees absolutely everything. And, oh, actually going for a worker kill. Looks like he's going to get it. Arthur not doing too much with those probes to kind of save him. Oh, and another one goes down before the Reaper is destroyed. So, iaguz getting in there nice and hard and actually getting some money for his buck, or buck for his money, or whatever the hell the saying is. He's getting some work done, and it's very, very awesome. So, yes, we'll just have to see 2 more gateways coming out. Is he going for like a 7 gate or something? 1, 2, 3... No, those are the same 2 gateways he was already building. Duh. Yeah, I don't know. These things just confuse me a little bit. So he's up to 3 gateways. He's got the robotics facility. He's got the Colossus coming out nice and early. Yeah. I guess it kind of worked out last game. I mean, it did. I think the Colossus kind of failed in their first attack. They did okay, but iaguz hit back so hard with Marauders that the Colossus kind of weren't as good as they possibly could be. But eventually it was the Zealots that did see Arthur through to the finish. So I suppose getting the Colossus out there, not a bad idea. Yeah. So I don't know. I didn't get a good feeling about Arthur building the Colossus last game, like going really, really fast early Colossus. I just didn't get a good vibe about it being like a good strategy or anything like that. But and then again, he did win the game, so it's hard for me to say whether it was a good decision to go for fast Colossus against iaguz. I mean, that heavy Marauder play that iaguz likes to switch to doesn't make Colossus seem like the best idea early game. Doesn't seem like you can go for a ton of them and get some stuff done. So, yeah, I don't know. I really, really don't know. I suppose it's a moot point if Arthur goes for them and wins again. But we'll just have to see. We've got their starport coming out. This is going to be the second starport. We have a second starport coming out at the 11-minute mark for iaguz. He is not messing around. He must have a very, very good idea that Colossus are out there. And he is not going to be messing around when it comes to building Vikings. He is going to get a ton of Vikings out there and start making some stuff happen. Here we go, nice drop. All of the Marauders, there they are, they're still pretty close. Oh, 1 worker goes down. They're going to try and kill, another 2 workers go down. Oh, gets the 4th. Beautiful, beautiful play from those Zealots. And yes, not going to be fun at all for the Terran player. He is now 57 under 61, so both players pretty close, but he can just re-macro quite easily. He'd love to get this Warp Prism, but he needs a few Vikings. There we go, 4 Vikings at a time. This is what we saw last game. iaguz just absolutely going out for a crap ton of units. Arthur also has a 3rd base, so they're very, very close on both fronts. And as long as we see the same Zealot production from Arthur that we did last game, then it's going to be okay. Because last game, iaguz built a crap load of Marines, went out there, saw the Colossus, switched to a crap load of Marauders, and yeah, then got owned by Zealots. iaguz is skipping the middle step now. He's just going for Marauders early on. He's got a decent amount of Marines, but there's like 2 Marauders for every 3 Marines, which is pretty freaking decent for a triple M sort of combination. So he's already skipped that point, and now Arthur needs Zealots right now. He doesn't know it, but the play that they had last game, I mean, iaguz has already gone to the end of the playbook and said, you know, I'm not going to go to the middle steps, I'm just going to go to the end. And Arthur is getting Zealot legs, so I suppose we can expect him to be going to the end, but he doesn't have as many Zealots as he had last game. So there's a ton of Marine Marauder here. He's got the workers out, so this is iaguz, big force, it's a massive amount of army. The Zealot numbers are not there, the Zealot legs are not there, And Arthur, it looks similar to the battle from last game, but iaguz has more. And Arthur wasn't quite as prepared as he was last game. So that's it. iaguz just stepped it up a notch and came back. Pretty much the same plan, but he just stepped it up a notch and came out beautifully. He just had too much for Arthur to deal with at that point, and Arthur had to give the GG. So iaguz showing why he is in the final of the winners bracket. Obviously an exceptional play from him, and the fact that he can just turn it up when he needs to, just make it that much better, is obviously why he's, why he won the game. So he's definitely going to be a serious threat to Arthur when it comes to the final game. So we will be going to an ace match. I'll be checking that out in just a sec. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairy Muppet. This is the ace match, as you will probably know, because I'm going to be appending all these games together. So Arthur and iaguz, this is for the grand final of the tournament. To get to the grand final of the tournament, sorry, it's just the winners final. Whoever wins this will go on to the grand final series and face off against the winner of the losers bracket. So it's right up there. It's very, very awesome, and it's going to be one of these players going up to the top. So Arthur up the top left side of the map, iaguz down the bottom right side of the map, and both players just looking quite a bit more standard. Nobody's going for any sort of crazy fast expansion. Well, iaguz still has a chance to go one barracks command center, which he may do. Arthur can go command center off cybercore, but I don't think either of those plays are really all that crazy. We do have a factory down here, which is interesting because there's rocks, so he's kind of built it in the wrong sort of play. I'm not sure what the plan is for this. I really have no idea. Let me think. So factory, you've got Hellions and you've got Widow Mines, the only two forces we really care about. If he was going to go for some sort of proxy, you'd think he'd build it over here, like up this ramp around this area or something like that. That would be it, but he's building it over on the other side. Unless he's going to lift it up and drop it here or something like that, but that's way too risky. I don't see that happening. Alright, here we go. There's a starport, so it's going to be Widow Mine drop in the main base. Incredibly fast Widow Mine drops. Arthur, yeah, once they're burrowed, I don't think he's going to have any way to deal with them. He needs either a robo facility or a starport to start getting oracles out. Both of those can give him vision. He is going for neither. He is going for the Twilight Council, probably for fast blink. He's actually put it down there. A little bit sneaky, but not as sneaky as iaguz right now. And damn, okay, so if the Widow Mines get burrowed, then Arthur is going to be losing a crap ton of workers, and he's only at one base at the moment, so there's not a lot that he's going to be able to do about it. I'm not sure how much the Nexus Overcharge is going to be able to do in terms of damage to knock these guys down, but we'll just have to see. Oh, if it gets scouted though, that would be so good. Yeah, let's have a look here. So this is Arthur's viewpoint here. This guy's coming down. Oh, sees the starport, sees the factory, and that's it. Game over. And we do have a single Widow Mine and 2 Hellions ready to go. We've got a medevac ready to go. We got 6 Marines coming up the other side. So iaguz going to hit from both sides. Got a worker there. Maybe think about a bunker play. But, oh, this is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Here's the robotics facility coming down. So obviously realizing that Widow Mines are a play. The Widow Mine is burrowing. It's burrowing. It's burrowed. That's it. Now he's going to take so much time before he can actually get that out. So he's going to have to sack a worker. Oh no! What is he doing? What is he doing? What is he doing? Oh, it already got a hit off. It already killed something. I think it killed like 1 worker or something like that. So he knows he's got time. But I think the Widow Mine is going to be recharged well before he gets an observer out. Definitely. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Come on. He's putting it right on top of it. He's moving all the workers away. Arthur with exceptional timing there, knowing exactly when that Widow Mine was about to shoot again. So, there we go. And there, the observer is out. Is it getting chrono boosted? It's hard to tell. But it is out. The Widow Mine goes down. There's another dropship with another Widow Mine. Thinking about it, not quite going to do it. And with the Observer out now, it's not going to be too much of a pain, even if it does. So now he's just... yeah, iaguz, unfortunately, is going to be losing a bit of tech. He's going to try and get those buildings away, but if the Stalkers are out on the map, they could chase him down pretty easily. I don't think they're going to, though, because the Stalkers sort of have to worry a bit more about these medevacs going down. There we go. The Hellions coming in. The medevac blown up. The Widow Mine getting thrown out there, but it's right under an Observer. Doesn't get a hit off. Too much damage being done. And the Stalkers have taken out absolutely everything. There's just one medevac sort of flying away on the side. And iaguz, his early sort of play, his early sort of harassment, unfortunately, has not worked in this case. And it's left him in a precarious sort of position because Arthur has built up a fairly large amount of Stalkers at this point, and he does have Warp Gate tech. He's got a pylon down there. He's got 13 Stalkers. iaguz has 13 Marines. Arthur does have a little bit low on the worker numbers, which is not good, but I think he's just going to try and make it work down here. He's actually got blink as well. There we go. This thing goes down. He's got an Observer. He can see up the top. He can blink his entire force over there, snipe the bunker, and yeah, that will be beautiful. So we're just waiting for the critical blink here. You could blink off to that side as well, snipe that. Here comes the tank. Suddenly things have gone up to the next level. Bunker goes down, the tank comes up. Siege damage starting to be taken. And Arthur, no hesitation, goes in, snipes the tank. He's up the top side, out of range of this bunker. There are Marines coming in, but that does not matter. Stalkers can own Marines so easily. And there's another tank being built, but that tank is not going to last 2 seconds. And that is it. iaguz sending the workers out to defend. I think he's at the very edge of his rope, and I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do here. The blink micro just too good from Arthur, keeping his forces alive. And the tank goes down. The Marines are trying so hard to fend this off, but I can't see any way that iaguz is going to win this. I think he is just boned. Absolutely 100% boned. There we go. Gives the GG, and iaguz has been knocked down to the lower brackets, and Arthur is in the top seat right now, just sitting back and waiting for the winner of the losers bracket to come up and face him. And that's it. Game done. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Thank you very much for watching this series, and we will be getting back into the losers bracket very, very soon. I believe the next game we're going to be casting is King Kong versus Spear. It's going to be awesome, and I will catch you guys when we cast that game. Stay tuned.